Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy, Simeon Russell. I'm live still. I'm a little bit late. I'm about 3 minutes late. But I'm not in the studio, as you can see, but it's still all good. We're going to talk some Knicks. It's going to be maybe a little bit of a shorter stream tonight. I'll take a few phone calls, but I'm ready to rock. So let's get this going. What's poppin'? What is poppin', Knicks family? I hope that you are having a great Labor Day weekend. I know I'm having a pretty good weekend. I've been able to, excuse me as I'm moving some things around. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just do this right here. I don't care if you guys see the mic. I got my Blue Yeti microphone because I'm out of the studio. You know what I mean? But I'm live from somewhere. That's right. Y'all know what it is. I'm live from somewhere. I'm always live from somewhere. I've broadcasted from a closet before. I've broadcasted from any place you can probably think of. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way that it goes down sometimes. Sometimes it's just going to be that way. But I'm here. We won't be able to see the video chat tonight because I only have one screen. All right. So it's only going to be one video chat. No video chat. We will take some live calls. All right. And I'll let you know when I'm going to open it up. I will open it up a little bit early, so I can get some of you guys' opinions. Yeah, from a haunted hotel. You remember that. Broadcaster from a haunted hotel. You know what I mean? And you guys seen, some people or whatever behind me, or not people behind me, but seeing that statue behind me was a little bit freaky. You know what I'm saying? But it don't matter what it is. We're going to talk Knicks. No matter what the situation, we're going to talk New York Knicks. All right? We're going to talk New York Knicks. But what I do want to ask you guys tonight, I'm sure you guys have seen the stories. It's been a slow story weekend because obviously it was Labor Day weekend. People are enjoying their families and all those type of things. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a slow week. And listen, I do have guys in the video chat right now. And guys in the video chat, you guys can talk to one another, but I'm not going to be able to bring you into the stream tonight. Simply because I don't have the capabilities. But like I said, it's been a slow weekend as far as news is concerned. But one thing that did come out that strikes me and really made me think is the news about the Pheonix Suns. The Pheonix Suns are apparently looking for a starting point guard. For whatever reason, and I really don't get it. I don't understand why, but the Pheonix Suns, they really want to try to make the playoffs. And, my question is why are they, I can understand wanting to try to make the playoffs with the young players, but why make trades and make moves to bring in what they consider as a starting point guard to try to make the playoffs when you're probably not going to do anything? I can understand. And look, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, Sim, you don't condone tanking. And you're right. I do not condone tanking. That's not what I'm saying. I am not saying for them to tank. What I am saying is, why not just stay with your young guys, try to build with your young guys, try to make your young guys better, right? By giving them the playing time, getting them on the floor, and all those type of things. And then, if you make the playoffs, great. If you don't make the playoffs, you don't make the playoffs. But why are they making moves to bring in players? Like they brought in Ryan Anderson. And I don't know the exact specifics of that trade, but they brought in Ryan Anderson, who I guess this is the last year. I don't know if this is the last year of his contract or if he has another year left on his contract. But they brought in Ryan Anderson, who makes $20 million. I'm assuming that they believe either they're going to free up some money. I haven't looked to see who exactly they sent back because it's been a busy day. It's been a busy day. Spending a lot of time with the family. I've been out with, today's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday to my lovely wife, September 2nd. I'm not gonna say how old she is. She may not want me to put that out on the air, but she's turning younger as the years go on. But Anyway, we had a little cookout celebration. So, I've been, preoccupied with family and things like that. So I haven't really been able to really get down and look at the specifics. And I see Knicks feed says Ryan Anderson has 2 years, $40 million left. So they took a dive there, right? I don't know what they gave up and how long. Gary Dunbar, he says, Sim, the owners want playoff paper. That's simple. Yeah, that could be true. That definitely could be true. They could just want that playoff paper because you do get some extra money if you make the playoffs, right? I don't know how long the money was and what they sent back. But Ryan Anderson, 2 years, $40 million, $20 million a year. That's a hefty contract to take back for a guy. I mean, Ryan Anderson is okay. He's not going to do maybe what you need to do on defense. Maybe they believe that he fits into whatever their schemes are. I don't know. What I do know is that they're in the hunt for a starting point guard, right? They're in the hunt for a starting point guard, and they're being aggressive about it, right? They made an offer to Boston for Terry Rozier. I forgot exactly what that was. They also made an offer to Portland, or they're willing to make an offer to Portland, where they'd give up. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I read it correctly, Josh Jackson. Okay, now in the first round pick, which means it says to me that they are. I don't know. It says if you're willing to give up one of your young guys, and I know Damian Lillard is Damian Lillard and who he is and what he can do, but it says to me that if you're willing to give up one of your young guys that you just drafted last year, then you are intent on trying. You're really trying to do something now. You're not waiting. You're trying to do something now. You know what I mean? So, they're obviously trying to do something. So my question is this. If they strike out with Damian Lillard, all right, Boston, from what I understand, from what I did read, what I was able to glimpse, Boston denied their package or their offer for Terry Rozier. Okay, they denied it. They said no. Who knows what's going to happen with the whole thing with the Portland Trailblazers? Okay, but my question is, should the Knicks pursue a trade with the Phoenix Suns for Trey Burke? Would the Phoenix Suns even consider Trey Burke a starting point guard in the league? I do not know. That's a very good question. But if I was the Knicks, I would definitely consider. I'm not even going to say consider. I would, if the Phoenix Suns were willing, I would trade Trey Burke in a heartbeat for a late first round draft pick. And I know some of you guys are going to say that I'm crazy. Some of you guys are going to say, well, Trey Burke may end up doing this, may end up doing that. Maybe he's going to end up being worth more than a late first round draft pick. But if it was on the table, I'd take it. Especially Trey Burke makes what, $1 point whatever million this year. You know what I mean? So it's not gonna. It wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't be anything for Phoenix to give up a first round draft pick, a late first round draft pick, if they believe Trey Burke is worth it, right? Because then they're taking back $1.5 million. So that you don't really need to. They may not even have to give up much, and still be able to keep, their young group and young core together without giving up some of their young core. Now, it all depends on what they value Trey Burke, where they value Trey Burke. Travis Fisher, thank you for the super chat. Said, love your channel, man. Go Knicks. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that comes in, even if you don't give a super chat. I don't care about that. I appreciate you for just coming in and showing me love. You know what I mean? And those who are coming down to opening night, we'll talk about it in a little bit, coming down to opening night, I appreciate you as well. Thank you. Thank you. But back to the question at hand. Would you do it? I know I'd do it. Someone said 2 second rounders for Trey. Lando McGee said 2 second rounders for Trey. I'd try to get a little bit more than that if I could. I really would. I would try to get a little bit more than just 2 second rounders because I think we probably can if they're really looking that hard. CP the artist, you said Trey Burke should play where he has a future. I doubt he has a long-term future in the Knicks. And I agree with you. I agree with you there. You know what I mean? And Pheonix could be a place that he has a future. I don't know. They did. They traded away Brandon Knight, right? And that to bring in Ryan Anderson. I believe Brandon Knight was in that trade. So yeah, they're definitely looking for a point guard. Do they believe Trey Burke is better than Brandon Knight? I don't know. Do they believe Trey Burke is a starter? I don't know. You know, it's good questions, very good questions to ask. You know, we'll see where that goes. But if I'm Scott Perry, I'm at least picking up the telephone. And seeing how and where they value Trey Burke. You know what I mean? Because, look, the Knicks, I don't know if they consider Trey Burke to be part of the future or the future. I do not believe he's going to end up being our starting point guard. I believe it's going to be Frank, but it could not be Frank. I don't think it's going to be Trey Burke. I mean, obviously, we have our eyes on Kyrie Irving in the near future. So if we have our eyes on Kyrie Irving in the near future, that means Trey Burke probably isn't in the long-term plans. You know what I mean? Probably isn't in the long-term plans. So if you can move Trey Burke for a late first-round pick, especially for a guy that you signed to your G League team last season and then came in and did what he did last year, and you got him on contract this year, this season coming up for 1.5, 1.6 million or whatever it is. You know, that mean, to me, you did very well if you can pull a late first-round draft pick out of him. You know what I mean? I think you did very well if you could do that. So that's the question that's on the table right now. That question is on the table. Trey Burke. And I know some people are going to say, well, Sin, in the last show, you literally spoke about how Frank Ntilikina and Trey Burke can work together on the floor. Yes, I did. And I'll do another show about it. Because I think that they can work together on the floor. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't trade them if the right opportunity came along. You know, and you guys know how I feel about Trey Burke. So there's no need to get that deep into it, I think, right now. Matthew Rodriguez, you said, would you trade Frank for a first? Number one, I do not believe that the Phoenix Suns are looking for a Frank Ntilikina. They're not looking for a point guard that's as young as Frank Ntilikina, in my opinion. I believe they're looking for a point guard that's a little bit more established, which is the reason why I'm calling into question Trey Burke. I think they're looking for a point guard that is going to make a difference. Trey Burke, at this point in his career, would be closer to that than Frank. I'm not going to lie. At least on the offensive end of the floor. He'd be closer to that than Frank. In the long term, I think Frank would be the guy. But I would not trade him for a first. Not if they're looking to put together a playoff team. Right? And I'm not going to say that they're successful. First of all, I'm not trading Frank for a first-round pick. Unless it's top three. If it's top three, maybe I consider it. But I'm not trading Frank for a first-round pick, though. Right? But especially if you're looking at the Phoenix Suns for 2019, they say they're intent on trying to make the playoffs. For whatever reason, they feel that they have a playoff squad. I'm going to move my camera over for a second, guys. All right? So, it's going slow. Hopefully that looked pretty smooth to you guys. Maybe I need to hang up the mic and be a cameraman because that looked pretty smooth right there. Just sliding it over. It looked kind of professional. Not to toot my own horn, I'm just saying. But anyway, you guys made me lose my thought, man. Made me lose my train of thought. If the Phoenix Suns are looking to make the playoffs this year, that means they're going to be making some more moves to try to get in some veteran players. And that draft pick, they're probably not going to be, it's not going to be a top 3 draft pick. if that's what they're intent on doing, because they're going to be bringing in vets, they're going to be making some moves to try to bring in some players. It may end up being, a middle draft pick or a late draft pick. If they're really intent on making the playoffs, you know what I mean, and they're going to make a push to make the playoffs. They may not make the playoffs, but if they're going to make that push, they may, a team. I think any team in the league right now can make their mind up to say, I'm going to really make a push for the playoffs. And if they don't make it, they can get very, very close. Just by making trades and bringing in veteran players, you can, get to that 37, 38, 39 win mark, maybe 40, 41 wins or something like that. Just to challenge for it, which would drop where you are in the lottery. So if you trade Frank to the Phoenix Suns for a first-round pick, a 2019 first-round pick, then that first-round pick becomes number 17. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? So, Trey Burke, you got Trey Burke for a song and a dance. And if you could turn him into a first-round pick, now you're really doing something. That's what you do. You know what I mean? If you can turn him into a first-round pick, you're doing something. I think that would be the way to go instead of I think that'd be the way to go. If it's possible. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know where you guys are on it. Do we pursue it? Or is it out of the question because Trey Burke is, in your mind, not a starting point guard? So if he's not a starting point guard, why would Phoenix even consider? Because they're looking for someone that can actually get them into the playoffs. Is Trey Burke that kind of guy? And if Trey Burke is that kind of guy, then do the Knicks say he's that kind of guy? Why do I move him? I want to know what you think about it. I do not believe Trey Burke. I'm sorry. And some people are going to call me a Trey Burke hater, man. And Esco, I got some words for you too, my brother. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely got some words for you. So, Esco, if you're listening, keep listening. You know what I'm saying? Nothing nasty, nothing negative. You know what I mean? But I got some, I got something I want to ask you if you do call in tonight. All right? But I want to talk to you guys about Trey Burke, man. Talk to me about Trey Burke. I want to know what you're thinking. Want to know what you feel about it. All right? Let me see. We got a call. Caller.
What's going on, Sam? It's Nate.
You on live with nothing but it. Is this Nate?
Yeah, it's Nate. What's going on, man?
Well, I'm chilling, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. So you're calling from a remote area.
Remote area, man. Yeah, I'm in upstate New York right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right
visiting
on.
family.
Right on.
Having a
Hope
good
you're
time.
having a good Labor Day.
And great, beautiful Labor Day. You know what I mean?
Awesome,
so it's a beautiful thing, And
Yeah,
I tried to find a way to make sure that I had the video chat, but it just wasn't working out. I think if I would have been able to spend a little bit more time, you know what I'm saying? But I really wanted to spend some time with my family because I don't, you guys know I live in D.C. I only get back up to New York once a year, or not once a year, 2 or 3 times a year. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure that I'm spending as much time with my family as possible. But also I wanted to make sure I'm spending some time with my New York Knicks family.
Hey, man. I totally respect that, man.
Which is the reason why
sometimes it's okay
I'm
to
on the
give it a
cast.
break.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I'm on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's all good. It's all good. So you tell me.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? Oh, no. I was about to say you're in Phoenix. No, you're in Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me what you think, man.
I've been saying for a while that I think that Trey Burke should be traded because, quite frankly, Sim, I don't want competition with Ntilikina. I think, with the way he was drafted and the position he was, they got to give him every opportunity possible to make him as good as he can be.
Okay.
And I think Trey Burke kind of limits him in the sense that, he can start, but the thing is, you don't want when you're trying to figure out what you got in a guy, I don't know if bringing somebody else in or having somebody else that has that kind of talent, if it necessarily helps them all the time.
Right.
Because they are competing for a position.
Right.
And so I've been a big proponent on the show saying we should trade Trey Burke. Phoenix would be a great opportunity. They need a point guard. The only problem is I don't think Phoenix is going to give us a first-round pick because this guy was in the G League last year, and
True.
so they don't see the value as high for a first-round pick. But, a second-round pick I'd be okay with. I think we could swing a second-round pick. I don't want to take a player back. There's nobody on the Suns that I really want. Josh Jackson, I don't think they're going to get for Burke.
No, definitely not Josh Jackson. So you don't think there's anything more that we can get for Trey Burke than just a second-round pick?
I mean, if Scott Perry can get a first-round pick for Trey Burke, and this guy was in the G League last year, he's already executive of the year, in my opinion.
That would be true.
I just don't think the value he's a first-round pick right now. He played well last year. Let's not say he didn't.
Right.
But the thing is, I just don't know if they're gonna value him that high, because if that was the case, they would already be calling us. And they're going after Lillard. They want a good bona fide point guard, and I think Burke, he's like a lower tier type of dude. So
True.
Maybe because they said no to Lillard and they said no to Kimba, maybe they might consider Burke now.
True.
Because he's not going to be the future. I think one of the guys in the chat said he's not our future. He needs to go somewhere where he can win. I totally agree. We're wasting his time by him because we know we're not going to re-sign him after this year. I'd be shocked if we do, unless Frank just completely falls off the map, which I don't think so. And the thing is, too, we all forget we still have Moutier. And I think Moutier would be actually a better backup point guard to Frank Ntilikina than I think Burke would be. Because, Moutier's got the ability and size to still play, make the passes, and still run the offense.
Okay.
Burke's more of a scorer, so that for me, I think if we can trade Burke before the season starts, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Because I think we got a backup point guard in Moutier or even Trier if we bring him up, to compete with or to have behind Frank. But I think we need to give Frank every opportunity to get this job and run with it and develop his game. And so I think that the Knicks got to be smart with how they handle Burke and Frank Ntilikina, because right now, some people want Burke, some people want Ntilikina, and so it's more of a competition than anything.
Right.
And I think it really should be just Frank and maybe Moutier too.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
All right, Nate, I appreciate the call as usual, man. Tuesday night, we'll definitely be back with the video chat. All right, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you. And I'm going to respond to something you said, because I want to talk about what you said about Moutier. That's a good question to bring up. I think I disagree with you, but I'll catch you in the video chat Tuesday night.
All right, boss. You take it easy. Man. Have a good Labor Day.
Good one. You too. Have a good one. Peace.
You too.
All right. So my man Nate, and Nate, usually has some good opinions, but I do disagree, Nate. I disagree with you about Moutier being a better backup point guard than Frank Ntilikina. I think when you have a backup point guard, I think one of the keys with having a backup point guard, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, one of the keys to having a backup point guard is to have a point guard that can change the pace of the game. You know what I mean? And I think that's very important. You need to have a guy that changes the pace of the game sometimes. You don't want to have a guy that just comes in and duplicates what your starting point guard is doing. I think you want to have someone that changes the game. And Moutier, in my opinion, is going to kind of duplicate what Frank is doing without the defense. He's not going to be able to score the ball. He doesn't score as well. We'll see what happens this season, right? This season, maybe we see something different from Moutier. I doubt it. But it could happen. You got Fizdale. Maybe Fizdale brings out the best in him. But I do believe that you want to have a change of pace guard. And I think that's what Trey Burke is. I think Trey Burke is a change of pace guy, a guy that can come in and then, he can come in and start lighting it up. Come in and start lighting it up. you know. So that's why I think that is. I think but I do understand what you're saying about Trey Burke and about Frank Ntilikina. But Trey Burke, let's not forget, he is young. He's still young. It's not like he's old. It's not like he's about to be 30 years old. He still got 4 or 5 years old before he reaches that 30 mark. Call you on live with nothing but Knicks. What's popping?
Big Sam, it's your boy Carl. What's going on, man?
What's going on with you, Carl? How you feeling, man?
Chilling, man. This is a good topic right here, as always. A great topic, man.
Appreciate it.
I like Trey Burke, man. You know that. I like Trey Burke.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And you said it at the last show when him and Frank Ntilikina working together. You called them Thunder and Lightning. I like that.
Yeah,
Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder and Lightning. I believe they can be that, working together on the floor. I like that combination on the floor, and I would not mind seeing that combination a lot on the floor. With that being said, if Trey Burke is not going to be part of the future, I would not hesitate. I wouldn't hesitate at all to get something for him. Where are you on? Where are you at it? Where are you with it, Carl? Where are you with it, man?
Okay. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Where I'm with Trey Burke, you've seen the videos of him working now. You know what I'm saying? What we got right now is a wolf. He's hungry. You know what I'm saying? He's hungry. It's a new system, new coach, and I feel honestly, man, we're going to see the best out of Trey Burke. And I put anything on it. Trust me when I tell you, we're gonna see something different with Trey Burke, because he's almost like Moutier, and this is what I mean with Moutier. He's better than Moutier, but to me, it's like the buck stops here. It's like you got to show really what you can do, and also you can throw Tim Hardaway Jr. in there too. But with Burke is, I think he knows what he wants to do. He knows how he has to do it. And he's ready, he's a wolf. He's ready now, and I think it's going to be something very, very positive with him. What you think, Sam?
I'll say this. From what I've seen with Trey Burke, I love the work ethic that I'm seeing from him. And he did not have that earlier in his career. But I love the work ethic that I'm seeing from him right now. Right? The attitude. I still think he's a little bit pouty from what I seen last year. Right? From time to time, it looked like, people still got to grow and develop, though, right? Young men and women, they grow and they develop until they're in their 30s. So, it is what it is. Maybe that's part of his personality that he's working on. I don't know. I love the work ethic. I never, ever said that Trey Burke didn't work hard on defense, though. Although I do believe there are defensive deficiencies, I do not believe it has to do with how hard he's working to try to play defense. I think it mainly has to do with just the physical inabilities that he has, and that's his height and size. When you're playing against some of these much bigger guards that's in the league, that's where I see some of the issues. But I do believe that he worked very hard. Is he going to come back and have a monster year because he's working hard? I don't know. I can't say if he is or if he isn't. We all seen Melo with the Hoodie Melo thing, and he's putting in his work and da-da-da. And then, when he went to OKC last year, it didn't really show. It didn't display itself on the court. Obviously, there's some other things at play with the whole Russell Westbrook and Paul George thing and how he fit in the system. Is Trey Burke at a point in his career where he can break out and really show the league that he belongs as a starting point guard? Yes. Does it look to me like he's determined to do that? Yes. I will say that. It looks to me like he's really determined to prove to the league, has a chip on his shoulder, and wants to show everyone that he is a starting point guard in the league and that he's everything, all of the hype that surrounded him coming into the league, that he could be this or he could be that. And I'm not saying that people thought he was going to be a superstar, but, the little bit of hype that was around him when he was coming into the league saying that, hey, Trey Burke could really do something. He could, be a primetime player for a team, a starting point guard, lead a team. I think he's looking to prove that he is that guy. And
Okay.
you know
Okay.
it is nice to have a player with a chip on his shoulder. I'll say that.
All day, yeah. And then the reference what you said about his height. The great Larry Brown, when he had Allen Iverson on the Philadelphia 76ers, there was talk about Iverson's height. And Larry Brown said, you know what? The people that defend him are going to have just the same problem with Iverson because because his quickness and how he moves.
Right.
And who does Burke? He models himself right after Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be like him, trying to imitate him a little. So and I'm not saying he's Iverson because you all know he ain't no Iverson, but it's good for him to have that that type of mindset in his mind.
Right.
When he gets
Right.
on
Right.
that floor. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
And
if
the thing,
anything,
go. And the thing about it is, does he have Iverson's heart though? You know what I mean? With Iverson, it was clearly heart over height. Clearly, heart over height. Does he have that same heart that Iverson had? You know what I mean? Iverson is one of the best players to ever, one of the best little men to ever touch a basketball in the league ever. You know what I mean? And a lot of it was just due to the pure determination. Does Trey Burke have that? I guess we're yet to find out.
so what do you think about him coming off the bench, being one good six man coming off
I
the
would
bench?
love it. I would love Trey Burke to come off the bench and be, however it works out. If he's starting, he's starting. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I would like to have Frank Ntilikina start because I believe, we need to shut down the point of attack or stop the point of attack, make the point of attack tough. But if Trey Burke were to start, I'm not gonna be upset. I'm not gonna be mad at all. And I would hope that Trey Burke does very, very well in that starting position and does the things that we want him to do. You know what I mean? That's just what I prefer as a coach, as a person, as a fan. That's what I prefer. I believe that Trey Burke can have a really, really good role, a really positive impact on any team in the league because we've seen it. He can be such a proficient scorer and he can come in and light it up, and he shoots at a very, very efficient clip. His mid-range is mean. He can get to the cup. He can knock down the three. And he's efficient. He shoots 50% from the field, at least last season. We'll see what happens this year.
You know who he reminds me of, man, a little bit, and you can see like the characteristics of how he was when he first entered the league. It's almost like Trey Burkish a little bit. I had him in my mind too, man. Chauncey Billups. You know what I'm saying? You see how Chauncey, man.
Yeah, and some
He
people
was a little slower.
yes,
Huh?
and some people brought up Chauncey Billups. Some people brought up Chauncey Billups and said, he was a late bloomer, came into his own late in his career. And hey, that could happen with Trey Burke. It could.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be a plus for us.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
that's a plus.
yeah, Carl, I'm gonna let you rock, man. I know I got some people want to call in, especially tonight. We don't have a video chat, so we're really only doing call. Having people call in. I appreciate the call every night, for sure.
No doubt.
All right, man.
No
And
doubt. Love your show, man. I'll see you Tuesday, man. I hear from you Tuesday.
Tuesday night, man. Peace.
All right, brother.
Later. Yeah, I know. Listen, a lot of people, man. A lot of people, like say that I hate on Trey Burke. I don't. You know what I mean? It's just this is what I see. And it's just who I am as a person, as a coach. I really, really value defense. I value having a point guard that's not consistently looking for his own shot. I like to have guys that want to get the ball around, spread the ball out, and then look for his shot when it's necessary to score. You know what I mean? And, make himself a threat. That's the kind of guys that I like. I think Frank can turn into that kind of a guy. I like Trey Burke as a sixth man. I think he can be a big-time sixth man for us. Okay. So, Mr. James, Mr. James, I don't know what happened there, but you kind of gave me the dial tone, bro. You know what I mean? See, Air Force One Up, she says, stop hating on Burke. I'm not hating on the man. Why? Let me ask you guys a question. Why is it that any person has to be hating on a player because you have an opinion about that player's game. How is that hating on a player? If I was a coach, and Carl, I'm going to get to you in a minute. I am a coach. When I'm a coach and I'm telling my players that I need you to do this to get better, to do that to get better, whatever it is, I'm not hating on that person. I'm trying to tell this person, this is what you need to do. Here's the reason why you're not starting, right? Because you shoot inefficient, or you don't hustle on defense, or you're not consistent in practice, whatever it is, or the reason why you're not getting playing time. It doesn't even have to be starting. I'm not hating on that person. I'm just telling that person, here's where you need to grow. Here's where you need to develop. Now, I'm not Trey's coach. So just because I say, here's the things that I believe stop him from being a starting point guard in the league, why is that hate? That's just my opinion on the man. Now, hate would be if he came out and proved me wrong in every single aspect and everything that I say, and I still don't give it up to him. That would be hate. If he comes out and shuts down Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, he comes out and he shuts down those 4 players 4 nights in a row, and I still say, yeah, well, what about this one player, or what about this, or what about that? Now I'm hating on the man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not giving up props where it's due. Come on, man. Caller, you on live with nothing but Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, my man.
What's good with you?
Why is it y'all guys is in love with these foreign players?
Why is it? Say that one more time. I didn't hear everything. Say that one more time.
Like Frank. Trey Burke is 10 times better than Frank. Does what?
Okay, so let me answer that
Phil Jackson drafted?
Let me answer that question. It has nothing to do with Phil
He's like
Jackson.
this guy's a bench player.
Can I answer the question?
These foreign guys, that's why guys like you, that's why Dick Vitale don't do the draft. Because he used to say all the time, we should get off this foreign player tip and go with our American-born players.
Okay, can I answer?
In the last 30 years, it's about 4 Hall of Famers from foreign. Probably Parker Sal, Dirk Nowitzki, Ginobili, and Tony Parker.
Okay,
that's about it.
All right. Well, let me answer your question. Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question?
This kills me, man. Like Dickie V said, diaper dandies, baby.
Can I answer your question though?
Players.
My man, can I answer your question though?
Go ahead.
All right. Cool. Thank you. The reason why I like long players, I can't speak for anybody else, but the reason why I like long players is one.
I said foreign players, not long
foreign players. Okay.
Foreign players.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm sorry about that. I thought you said long players.
Foreign players.
Okay, I had
foreign players.
I'm gonna tell you what. It doesn't matter to me.
Foreign players was great. It's about 3 of them right now, still in the league.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me if a player is foreign or American.
It does matter because
it matters to me.
This guy Frank, you talk to him like he's the next big thing. Trey Burke. Trey Burke is if that guy get a shot and get to play like they played him last year, it's no competition to me. Okay. Frank just got drafted. Everybody, because he was a draft pick, so people like, we can't get rid of him. He's too young. He's gonna be a bum.
Okay.
He's scared of pressure. He don't have the heart. His heart pump Kool-Aid. And if your heart pumping Kool-Aid, remember John Starks was packing groceries. He had heart.
Okay. All right. Well, call. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna answer your question. All right. Because I know that's all right. Appreciate the call, bro.
Okay, Benji, man. Peace out from Brooklyn.
Peace, man. Peace from Brooklyn. All right. Listen, man. First of all, I don't care if it's a foreign player. I don't care if it's an American player. If you can hoop, you can hoop. That's what it is. If you can ball, you can ball. I don't care. Now, the one thing I will say, a lot of our American players have kind of been brought up today. They've been brought up in this AAU system where, some of these guys they don't have the same fundamentals and they don't have the same basketball IQ. Let me take a player like Amari Stoudemire, for example, right? Amari Stoudemire had all the talent in the world to be one of the best players ever. His talent was unbelievable. His talent allowed him to skip college and go to the NBA off of talent alone. But have you ever went back and read or learned about the history of Amari Stoudemire in high school and how he jumped around from school to school to school to school to school, and AAU team to AAU team, but he never got coached. He never learned. And so the reason why you would see Amari Stoudemire have those late defensive rotations, and you've seen Amari Stoudemire late in his career try to go to Hakeem Olajuwon so he can learn post moves, is because everything that Stoudemire had was based on talent. Talent and athleticism. That was everything that he did in the league. Mike D'Antoni knew how to use his skills and his talent and his athleticism to perfection with Steve Nash. And he used him in the screen and roll. Got him running, screaming, running to the basket, dunking on people, because they used his athleticism. And Mike D'Antoni knew how to use his athleticism. But the one thing that D'Antoni knew that, I don't know, I think it was Steve Kerr, who was the GM at the time for the Phoenix Suns, knew about Stoudemire, is that he did not have the skill, the basketball skill, to become a great to continue to play at the level that he was playing at, because he hadn't learned it. And so when his knees were there, and when he got older, they understood what Amari was going to be, and we've seen what Amari became. One, yes, the injuries, but Amari didn't have the skill set, the actual skill to play the basketball game, because everything he did was based on athleticism and talent, and he was never coached. A lot of guys in this AAU system are coming up the same way. They're not coached. They're not learning the skill level. Guys overseas are learning that skill level at a different level than guys in the NBA in the US are. I'm sorry. Maybe they don't have the same talent level there yet, or athleticism yet. You are seeing guys come into the league with this type of talent level and athleticism, and now they have the skill to go with it because they teach the game differently there. That's one reason why you're seeing a lot of guys in the NBA who really like foreign players, because they're learning the game differently. And they're not coming up with this mindset that guys in the NBA, if you know what the AAU is like, right? You get players who go to a team and then they bring their buddy to that team. And they don't want to play for that team unless their buddy is going to play. Right? And then if you're not getting enough playing time on this team, you jump from this team to the next team. Because you can do that in AAU. And this is what these guys are learning. This is the culture that they're learning right now. You know what I'm saying? They're learning this kind of culture, which is why you see guys wanting to team up nowadays in the NBA the way that they would like to team up, right? Because, that's part of the AAU culture. It really is. Part of the AAU culture is guys teaming up on one team, and they do it all over the U.S. You know what I mean? So, guys, in my opinion, are learning basketball differently than they're learning it overseas, which is why there are a lot of coaches and scouts and GMs who like to look at overseas players. The facts are that the talent level isn't there. The guys don't have the same athleticism as they do in the U.S. For whatever the reasons are, I don't know. And it could just be because there's so much basketball playing in the U.S., on so many different levels, that the talent level just grows. But the skill level and the basketball IQ is different. And this is my opinion. You can disagree with me. I'm cool with that. But that's my opinion. The skill level, it's just a big difference. Well, I'm not going to say a big difference, but there's a difference, between overseas and the NBA. It's part of the way that, and part of it is just the way guys are learning basketball from a young level. You know what I mean? Now, and my last thing, from what this caller, I'm not saying that Frank is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I think he's going to be good, and I think that he has the intangibles to be the leader of a team. That's what I'm saying about Frank Ntilikina. You know what I mean? You can disagree with me. That's cool. I get it. You know what I mean? But, that's just what I see. That's what I believe, and that's what I see. I think that he has that. And I'm not sure that Trey Burke does. Maybe Trey Burke is going to prove me wrong, and if he proves me wrong, I'm going to admit that he proved me wrong, and I will be happy that he proved me wrong because I would like to see him have a good career. I respect everything that he's doing. I respect everything about Trey Burke's journey right now, and it would be a great, great story, one that I would be proud to have as a New York Knicks fan. It would be a great, great story if he was able to reclaim his career and come back and reach all of his goals. Yeah. So let's take another call. Call you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin', man? Hello. All right. Gotta be ready, folks. If we get you on the line, man, I gotta have you ready, B. All right, be ready to talk to me if we get you on the line. All right, I'm gonna take one or two more calls about Frank Ntilikina. I'm sorry. See, now you got me saying Frank Ntilikina. About Trey Burke. All right, call me 516-405-2246. Give me a call. Again, 516-405-2246. Call you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's up, Tim? CJ and Winston.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. So you tell me, would you, if you're Scott Perry, and we don't even know if the Phoenix Suns would entertain Trey Burke, but would you give the Phoenix Suns a call to say, hey, we got Trey Burke here. What do you want to do?
Absolutely. Trey Burke is good, and I honestly think he's excellent. But that's a first-round pick, and then maybe you could even figure out a way to pull in Dragon Bender, Sean Holmes. You can pull in another young player and get rid of Trey Burke and get a first or even a second-round pick for Trey Burke. And then pull in a Dragon Bender or Rashawn Holmes from both of your defensive big men. That's a no-brainer.
Okay. Well, we'll see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I think that Scott Perry is probably going to watch the situation, see what Phoenix is able to pull off, see if they're able to pull off a Damian Lillard. It doesn't look like they're going to get
definitely.
Terry Rozier. He'll probably look to see if they can pull off someone like Damian Lillard. If they're looking for Kemba Walker, maybe he looks to see if they can pull off a Kemba Walker. And then if they strike out, then he calls them up and says, hey, we got Trey Burke here, and just give him the story and see what's going on. Because, listen, for Trey Burke, for the Phoenix Suns, it's a very low risk. If they give up a first-round draft pick, that's not a low risk. That's a high risk. But if Scott Perry was willing to accept 2 second-rounders or something like that, then that's a low risk.
Oh, definitely. No, you see what we did with our second-round draft pick this year. I like these guys. Guys are great draft. I hope these guys draft like Isaiah Thomas. I hope they GM better, but I hope they draft like Isaiah Thomas because, Isaiah pulled in David Lee, Nate Robinson, I believe Wilson Chandler. I'm not sure. He might have been D'Antoni, but I'm pretty sure Wilson Chandler as well. Oh, those were all late draft picks. So these guys draft like that. Give them 2 second-round picks for Trey Burke. It's 1.8, 1.6 or something?
Yes, I think something like that.
Trey Burke. You get 2 first-round draft picks and second-round draft picks, and one of them pops. Right. There you go.
Right. Yeah. So
I like Trey Burke. If we don't end up doing that deal, honestly, I'd wait and see training camp and then.
Oh, of course.
Because honestly, if we can't trade him for something that really benefits us.
Mm-hmm.
I might try to trade Tim Hardaway if Trey Burke plays well. I'd rather have Trey Burke than Tim Hardaway. And even if you sign Trey Burke for the future, one of those guys isn't the future. And I think I'd rather have Trey Burke as our future than a guy like Tim Hardaway.
Okay.
Trey Burke, you know what he's going to do. He's getting into the defense. He's going to get into the hole and create some havoc. Tim Hardaway relies on that three too much. And if he was shooting 45, 46%, but he only made 3 or 4 of them, that's great. But if you take 10 shots, shooting 30-something percent, a low percentage at the three, those are turnovers.
Okay. Good points. Good points.
The good teams don't do that.
Good point.
Like when you look at a Golden State game, Steph Curry takes 30. He'll take 10 threes.
Right.
But he's making 5.
Good point. Good
like
point.
Steph, Tim Hardaway takes 10 threes, and he had a great game when he makes 5. That's a Tim Hardaway 30-point bonanza.
Okay.
Most of the time, he takes 10, makes 2, maybe 3, gets a couple drives, he gets his 15 points, and walks out of there.
Mm-hmm.
From what I thought, Trey Burke at the end of the season, teams are going to have a hard time handling him. Now, they're going to get us on defense, but that's why you put Ntilikina and another long guy at the 3,
right.
And then you make up for his defense. You can sort of hide him on it. Every team, no team's stacked, so you can hide him on a bum player.
Yeah. All right, hey man, I appreciate the call, man. I appreciate the call, and you brought up a good point that I'm going to ask to the chat. We'll see. I want to know what the chat thinks about it. So, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it, and hope you have a great Labor Day tomorrow and get your week started off right.
You too. I hope you two do, and everybody in the chat. I hope you all barbecue and do it up.
Yeah, it is.
Have a good night. I'll talk to you guys. I'll probably see you guys on Tuesday. I'll definitely be listening on Tuesday.
Tuesday night, 10:30.
Hopefully we talk again.
I'll be there.
All right. Have a good night.
Peace. All right. Good. You brought up something that I think is interesting. Would you rather have Trey Burke or Tim Hardaway? And, we'll talk about this for a minute, then we're going to move on. Like I said, there's going to be a relatively short stream tonight. Trey Burke or Tim Hardaway? I'm going to be honest with you. I like the Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina pairing. I do. I like the way it looks. I like the fact that you can have 2 playmakers on the floor. And even though Trey Burke is a shoot first point guard, he is looking to get his. He's looking to score. I still believe that he is a playmaker, and I like having 2 playmakers on the floor, and one that is a defensive specialist. That can maybe compensate. Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. at the same time scares me, because I don't see us getting stops. Maybe we can score the ball with Tim Hardaway. That's going to be inconsistent. And maybe with Trey Burke is going to be consistent. We'll see. He's had 1 year really shooting at that 50% clip. Let's not forget about that. That could be a testament to the way that he's worked to get himself back. But Timmy or Trey? That is that's a good question, because I really do like the Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina pairing in the backcourt. I like the way it looks. Like I said, that thunder and lightning type of thing. And Frank can maybe even help mask or disguise some of those defensive inefficiencies or deficiencies, physical limitations of Trey Burke. And maybe we can get into that and chalk talk a little bit. All right. Not tonight, no chalk talk tonight, but Tuesday night. We'll see what it is. I see some people say keep Burke over Tim. I see some people say Timmy over Burke. Edward Henry says, Sim, they have a coach. You act like they're playing pickup. I understand that they have a coach, but when you have certain players on the team, you're gonna play those players you're gonna play people on the floor. You know what I mean? And just because you have a coach doesn't mean that you might decide, well, I'd rather have Trey over Timmy, because then I can use Frank in this spot, and I can use, Mario Hezonja here, and I can, I have a little bit, I don't have such a glut. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I do understand that they have a coach that's going to try to sort and mix some things up and do whatever, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you might still, you still might want one player over another, even though you have a coach that's on the floor. I guess I'm not understanding what you mean when you say, Sim, they have a coach on the floor. I'm not understanding why you're telling me that. I understand that there's a coach on the floor, but what does that have to do with whether or not you want Tim Hardaway Jr. or Trey Burke, or if you would keep one over the other? Explain that to me. I see it in the, hopefully I can see it in the chat. Or call in. 516-405-2246. Call in and explain that to me. You know what I mean? Because I'd like to understand a little bit more what you're saying. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping? Hello. Hung up. I guess they got a little bit nervous. I don't know. You know what I mean? Don't be scared. Just talk to the chat. I know the chat can be rough and can be brutal, but don't be afraid of the chat. You know, come on. If you're gonna call up, say your piece. You know what I mean? So until someone calls up and can explain to me what, if you're calling to talk to me about what the coach has to do is whether or not you want Trey Burke or Tim Hardaway Jr., you know, call up and let me know. Until then, we're gonna talk about this Joakim Noah. I'm going to get to this last caller first. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on, man? You on live. What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
So what's your take? What's your take on Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway? Who would you take? Who would you keep?
As far as the quiet storm that you're talking about soon, it's quiet. That's just the thing. I mean, Frank needs to bring the thunder. Really, you asked for thunder. I don't think he's really bringing that thunder. Yeah, I know he has a chance to evolve a little bit. I'm a Frank supporter. Pretty much, I would be happy if, through his career, he became a Derek Harper. I see that, if he could evolve into that, the defense, he didn't shoot much, but he could get 15 to,
right.
The top part of his career, he got about 20 near there, from 20 to 15. If he could shoot around that range, play the defense, and Derek's defense was sick. They made that hand checking rule because of him. Nobody want to talk about that, but
that's true.
He was the man that shut people down using that little claw he got, holding them down.
That's true. I'd be totally.
Frank should go talk to him and pick up a little pointers because that man can play defense. So I think Frank needs to shoot a little more and bring that thunder you're talking about. As far as Trey, he's lightning. He's doing his job. I believe he can do that. He could fill that position to come in and score some points and.
That's exactly what he can do. But I think he can do that job from a 6-man role too. Matter of fact, I think he can do that job better from a 6-man role. And I'm gonna explain that when you get off the phone. I'm gonna explain what I mean by that too, and why I think he can do it better from a 6-man role than from a starting role. You know what I mean?
And as far as a trade, if they could trade maybe Burke and Moutier and get some type of package where they could get a first rounder or maybe an early second round pick. I might do that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hey, caller, I thank you for the call, man. I'm gonna let you rock. All right. And hopefully I'll talk to you Tuesday night, 10:30. All right, later, man.
All right,
peace. Why I think Trey Burke is better coming off the bench. I don't think that Trey Burke is your starting style point guard. I believe that your starting point guard, or let's put it like this, I think you need to have a guard on the floor. I guess it doesn't have to be a point guard, but you need a facilitator on the floor. When you start a game, when you play a game, you need a facilitator on the floor. I believe that with Frank Burke coming off the bench, that takes that responsibility away from him. If you're going to call him your lead guard, I think it takes that responsibility away from him. You can tell him, go in the game, get buckets. And I think you're going to get the best out of Trey Burke by doing that. You know what I mean? I mean, there's been 6 men who, I'm not saying that Trey Burke is going to make the All-Star team, but there have been 6 men in the league who have made the All-Star team because they're able to just play their role without any additional pressure. And I think that's the best. I think Trey Burke is suited for that role. And he doesn't need to, he can come in and just play without any additional pressure or any additional responsibilities but to score. You know what I mean? And I think you'll see the best from Trey Burke in that manner. Now, without having to be the facilitator and the coach on the floor, I don't think he can do it. I just don't think that's his game. And I hope that he proves me wrong. And if he proves me wrong, I will say to you, he's proving me wrong right now. I have no problem with that at all because I want him to prove me wrong. Now, Edward Hunter, I did see your message where you said, that I'm scared to have Frank and Timmy on the floor. And when I'm saying that because defensively, I'm afraid of having Tim Hardaway, Frank Ntilikina, Tim Hardaway, Trey Burke, and Enes Kanter, 3 of those guys in your starting group because of the defensive liabilities or the defensive deficiencies. I do not want to have those 3 starting at the same time. So, yeah. That's why having them too, especially in your backcourt, because guards have eaten us alive the last decade. Right? So we need to have guards that are able to handle their own defensively. And Frank can handle his own defensively. As a rookie, he might have been one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. One of the best, probably the best screen dodger in the league as a rookie. And I think he's only going to get better at it. That's why I think that, he's more suited for that starting position. And, I'm going to get people come at me, this and that and whatever. That's cool. That's okay. But I think we beat this, to death. So I'll end this segment just by saying, yes, I do believe that if the Knicks get the right offer for Trey Burke from the Phoenix Suns, you trade him. I do believe that Scott Perry should pursue a trade with Phoenix. At least call them. Let me say that. At least call them and find out what's his market. All right. So I'm no longer going to take any calls on Trey Burke. If you call me up, we're going to talk about Joakim Noah, and this is going to be a short segment. I'll take one more call. Whoever's on the line now, I'm going to give you this chance. You're online with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's good?
I'm cool, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking my call. This is my first time calling.
I appreciate it.
I'm a big fan of yours.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in. I hope you have a positive experience with your first time calling in and you call back.
All right. Hey, I've been listening to all this conversation pertaining to Trey and Frank.
Right.
I have a quick question, all right?
Okay.
Pertaining to the American players. Now, I understand the American game is more advanced than the European game. But due to the way the American game is set up, where it's all about somewhat selfish, okay? My question is this. If an American player was put in a position where Frank is, where he has to distribute the ball before actually shooting the ball last, would they be able to play that kind of game in Europe?
Say that again. Say that one more time. If what?
Okay. If they had to adapt their game to the style of the European game,
right?
Will they be able to play?
I think there'll be some players who have a very hard time playing that game because they've grown up from the time they were 10 years old learning that as a guard, it's all about, one, your handle, which it is. A lot of it is, your handle is very, very important. So, but I don't mean your handle as far as being able to control the ball, control the tempo, blow past your guy without losing the ball being a part of your hand. I don't mean that kind of handle. I mean having, these crazy moves, right? So they grow up learning that. They grow up learning that a point guard, you know what I mean? They grow up learning that.
So my thing is this.
Give me one second. Give me one second. And before I get to that, big shout out to Armando Chico for the super chat. He said, I wouldn't trade Burke. I would. Oh, I missed it. Let me give it. I'm gonna get it for you right now, Armando. You said I wouldn't trade Burke. I would just have him as the 2 guard and let him loose the score. That's exactly what I'm saying. But I could do the same thing off the bench. You know what I mean? I think you can do the same thing with Burke off the bench. But caller, what I was saying is, these guys, they grow up from 10 years old, and they learn handle, and of course you got to have good handle, right? That ball needs to be like air to you, especially if you're a guard. The ball needs to be like air. If you lose the ball, you suffocate, right? But then they also grow up learning that what a point guard's role is to bring the ball up the floor. That a point guard's role is to just drive to the basket and then dish. That's not the only role of a point guard. Penetrating is a very important role of the point guard, but it's not the only role. And a lot of these guys grow up thinking that is what a point guard does, and it's not. It's just not. There's so much more to being a point guard than just running up the floor and penetrating to the basket. You know what I mean? When you're a point guard, you are the guy on the floor that's setting everyone right. That's keeping the right kind of mindset. That's keeping the right type of intensity on the floor. That controls the pace of the game. That decides who gets the ball, when, where, and why they're getting the ball. That decides which action to play on the left side or right side of the floor. Do you go into the post? Why are you going into the post? Why are you pushing the ball? Why are you slowing the ball down? What is the coach saying to you, and how do you communicate that to the players on the floor? That's what a point guard is. And so many of our kids grow up not learning that.
All right, so if I'm understanding what you're basically saying, point guard is similar to what a quarterback is, right?
Exactly.
Second of all, you are pretty much the coach on the basketball floor, right? So you have to be able to articulate what is happening in front of you before you make any decision, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now, my thing is this, okay? We have a player that just came from France who was taught a certain way to play, all right? And now he has to adapt a different mentality, okay, in terms of how to play the American game. Just even in general, just picture yourself going to a different country and learning their culture and learning how to adapt to that culture.
Right.
All right? Now, we are here all bashing Frank about how he cannot shoot and blah, 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 and so on. Okay? But yet, we saw how Jeff Pheonix, okay, how he worked with him. What didn't put him in a better position to be able to what? To try. So my thing is this. Before we go ahead and start judging this brother, give him a chance. Let's see what he can do based on maybe 42 games, 52 games, whether he's starting or getting a certain amount of minutes. Before we are quick to judge, because it takes time, Basically, he is like in college right now, learning the ways of the game in America. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the other hand, with Trey, my thing is this. I wouldn't trade him. Why? Because a man that is right now driven to succeed, that's a dangerous man.
Okay.
And I think that if you put Trey and Frank together, it's going to be sick.
Okay.
And if we are planning on trading him, I'd rather do it during the trading deadline, because then maybe Trey will improve, okay, his game to the point where it will bring us the first round pick.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
But all y'all people on the chat, I understand y'all looking for a scoring guard. Remember, when was the last time we had a player that could defend the perimeter? And the other thing we can look at, Frank, is this. Just picture Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson wasn't the greatest scorer, but he was able to distribute the ball all around. Got everybody going. Led as a leader. And that's how you can envision Frank. If Frank is not going to be some kind of superstar, at least he can envision Frank as Mark Jackson.
Okay. All right. Hey, caller, I agree with a lot of your points. You know what I mean? Thank you for the call. And I hope you call in Tuesday night, 10:30. All right.
All right, brother.
Have a great holiday tomorrow. Have a great start to your week. And hopefully I'll speak to you Tuesday night.
No doubt. Take it easy.
Peace, man. All right. I think we beat this to death. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about Joakim Noah. And it probably won't be too long of a discussion. Excuse me. But will the Knicks waive Joakim Noah? I'm sorry, my voice. Got my voice is itching a little bit. Hopefully I don't have any allergies messing around. All this talking about guys not playing defense and stuff. I'm allergic to not playing defense. You know what I mean? But will Joakim Noah be waived? I thought he was going to be waived. I still think that he may be waived or stretched, whatever you want to say. I still think that it can happen. I think that, I don't know. I read something somewhere, and I don't know how true this is. I read something somewhere that said, Joakim Noah is on vacation or somewhere, and so they'll wait until he gets back. I don't know. Shout out to Armando Chico. Again, you said, I think Frank can get to average 10 to 15 points a game. With his defense, he'll be sick. And with his passing, there you go. I'm with you, Armando. I agree with you 100%. But back to Joakim. I think that I still think it's going to happen. Maybe it didn't happen right away. And I think that, I guess there's just not that much of a rush for it to happen exactly right now. And maybe it doesn't happen until we get closer to camp, or if they just know it's going to happen. And if he is on vacation or whatever it is, they're waiting until they can get everyone. I don't know. I do think it's going to happen. Knicks Film School put out a great graphic that kind of breaks down and explains the ramifications of stretching Joakim Noah. All right, so I want to take a look at it. Maybe you guys have already seen it. Big shout out to Knicks Film School. You guys know, me and Knicks Film School. We go. I don't want to say we go way back, but we do some things together. So big shout out to Knicks Film School for the work that they put in to provide us with this information. All right, so Joakim Noah contract buyout fact sheet. What is a buyout? I think you guys already know what a buyout is. I don't know if we really need to go there, but he said think of it like a divorce. When both sides agree they're better off without each other, boom. The team allows the player to sign somewhere else by waiving them. That's the buyout. In exchange for an agreed reduction in the salary that's owed. Okay? So if you don't know what a buyout is, now you do. What's the cap hit? How does it hit our cap? Whatever reduced amount the two sides agree on becomes the new cap hit. So if Noah gives back $2 million, that is $2 million off the cap spread along the remaining term. All right, so why was yesterday a key? September 1st. Yesterday was a key. It's almost September 3rd, but why was yesterday a key? As a matter of, almost 11:46. Almost September 3rd. Still September 2nd. So why was yesterday key? Right. The reason that yesterday was key, it comes down to whether the Knicks want to stretch Noah's 2018-19 salary or not. Okay. After September 1st, which means today, September 2nd, the 2018-2019 salary counts in full. And only the 2019-2020 salary is stretched. Okay, so after today, that means they got to pay Joakim Noah the full $18 million. And the full $18 million hits the cap. Which I think, I'll explain, I'll talk about it afterwards. If Noah is bought out, can the Knicks still stretch the cap hit? Yes. The stretch provision allows them to spread his cap hit over twice the remaining term plus 1 year. Okay, I'll say that again. If Noah is bought out, can the Knicks still stretch his cap hit? Yes. The stretch provision allows them to spread his cap hit over twice the remaining term plus 1 year. Figure that out. I'll let you figure that out. All right. If Noah takes back $2 million in a buyout agreement, the Knicks can stretch the remaining $17 million over 3 years at $5.8 million per year. Okay? You get that. All right? I hope you get that. Now, so do you stretch Noah? So here you go. If he's not stretched, okay, $18.5 million, you have no extra space. In 2019, 2020, you've got to trade players to get max space. If he was stretched on August 31st, right, the Knicks would have had to pay $7.5 million from 2018 to 2023 for Joakim Noah's salary. If he's stretched after September 1st, which is today or tomorrow or whenever, the Knicks paid his salary of $18 million this season, right? And then $6 million until 2022. Which this is the way that they would want to do it. They would want to pay his salary this season because, you know, this offseason, this free agency is over. You got to pay this money anyway. This free agency is over. And then stretch him at the lower amount, you know, for the 2019 offseason. And then, as we talked about earlier, if Joakim Noah if the Knicks do not, or if they strike out in free agency, they do not sign a free agent, then they can pay Joakim Noah his full 2019-2020 salary, and they get no cap hit, you know, for the remainder of, they get no cap hits up until 2022. All right, so this obviously after September 1st is the ideal situation for the Knicks because, you know, the only reason why they would want to free up cap space for this 2018-2019 is if they were worried about paying a luxury tax. Okay, so then you could say, well, let's stretch them, then we don't have to worry about luxury tax or whatever. I don't think they're worried about it for this year. So 2018-2019, you pay the $18.5 million. Stretch them after September 1st. You stretch them. They pay $6 million from 2019 to 2022 because he's stretched. If you do not get a free agent, you can pay his entire salary in 2019, 2020, and then in 2020, and then from 2020 to 2022, you don't have to worry about a cap hit because you stretched them. So it works out for the Knicks in that manner. All right, it works out for them. So the question is, are the Knicks going to do it? I believe that they are going to stretch Joakim Noah. Right? It just matters. Now it's just when. And because it's already after September 1st, there really is no need to rush it because it's going to be the same no matter what. Do you want to have him gone before training camp? Probably so. If you have no intentions on using him, then you probably want him gone before training camp. And I believe that the Knicks will stretch Joakim Noah. You know, obviously they haven't done it yet, but I believe that it may come. Maybe it is Labor Day weekend, so, you know, maybe I could tell you, I know personally that the Garden is, you know, like the Garden is closed tomorrow, right? Does that mean that Scott Perry and Steve Mills and those guys aren't working? No, doesn't mean that they're not working. But this may be something that they're just not. Why do it over the holiday weekend when we can come in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and get it done? So I still do think that it's going to happen. That's just my opinion. All right, I think it's going to happen. And, you know, they'll stretch Noah and then there'll be, you know, some roster spots, a roster spot available. All right. So, yes, I do believe that the Knicks are still going to waive Joakim Noah. All right. Another call on the line. Let's see what you're talking about. You're on Live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, Sam? It's your man, Rob the Knick from North Carolina. I got a question for you. Did you tell the NBA what I said about the draft? What they needed to do with the draft?
I have not.
Did you tweet that in?
I have not yet, but I plan to. I promise you, I am going to, because it was a great idea. And if I do not remember which episode it was in, the exact name of the episode, but if you guys get a chance, you look back at one of my earlier episodes, and he had a great idea about how to fix this lottery tanking stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I definitely plan to. I've been working on, you know, getting this opening night thing together, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But I've been working on getting this opening night thing together. So I've been really busy.
Hey, look, the last when you was on Thursday, you got about 15 new members that's listening to your broadcast now. Because what you said at the end, when you was breaking it down about, you know,
what we need to do is like don't use that privilege thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people at my job, they caught that in them. And I appreciate you saying that. And what you did with who was Mark, when you shut him down.
Yeah.
Now look, Esco, good dude. I like when he calls in and everything. But yeah, he got to tame the language because we never know who's listening.
Exactly.
This show, I think, can go to big places. I really do. You might get, and everybody might be listening. And, you never know who might come to you, and make this thing bigger than what it is. So, with that, nothing against Esco, but, you got to watch the language.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because we got Oscar, he's listening, and things like that. So, he done schooled some of his friends, so you got a broader audience, and we got to take care of the little kids.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to say something about that. And maybe I should have did this in the beginning, but I'm going to say it now. When that happened with Esco, I want to send out an apology to JP and to all of you because I should have cut him off earlier. I should have cut him off sooner. You know what I mean? As soon as I heard, I should have just hit the switch on him. And yes, I went back and I looked at it and I said, wow, I was smiling, but I wasn't smiling because I thought it was funny. I was smiling kind of in disbelief. That happens with me sometimes.
Situation.
You know what I'm saying?
I seen it.
I reached out to JP and apologized, and I want to send this out to Esco. Esco, I enjoy having you call in. I enjoy having you talk and speak to everyone. Everyone enjoys you speaking. But I would like you to apologize. And if you cannot apologize, then I won't accept the call. All right. But I'm asking you to please apologize. We can get past it. We can go on and have a good time. Because I want people to feel comfortable and safe coming here to talk about the Knicks. I don't want anyone to feel like, well, I can't come in because someone might say something out of bounds. Listen, in the chat, it is cool for us. We're going to talk about each other. We're going to have fun. People are going to say crazy things and crazy things going to happen and we're going to enjoy it and we're going to crack on each other a little bit. That's cool. But there are certain lines you just don't cross, right? We don't want to step out of bounds. Stay in bounds and play fair. You know what I mean? Keep it about the Knicks. If someone makes a dumb comment, get on them about it. And I see other things in there people get on each other about. It's cool. Just keep it in bounds. That's all I'm saying. And Esco, you stepped out of bounds, man. But
Now, I know you put the Trey Burke situation to bed, so I'm gonna let you do that. But I can talk about Joakim.
Okay.
Me, when they signed him, I felt as though it was really crazy to even sign him, just because you had got Derrick Rose at the time, and then to put him on. But right now, since we have him, we should just let him play. Let him play, because I think that he can give us what O'Quinn gave us.
Okay.
He's gonna give us good hustle, good passing, good rebounding, and put him out there on the market. If somebody may get him, but the word is out that we're gonna drop him. Everybody's just gonna wait. So let him come into training camp and play him.
Okay.
We already know that Cantor is, he's gonna be out. If he's not gonna accept less money, we're gonna be done with him anyway. So if we put Joakim Noah out there to play, and everybody seems as though that he returned the form, because I think he can return to the form that he was, as far as I'm concerned. He can do that because, rebounding, passing, and everything, that's in his blood. He can do that.
Okay.
So for that, I think that we really need to just keep him, put him out there, let him rock up there until All-Star break, and then somebody may need him and give us something that's fair. The money is not going to never match up.
Right.
But we can get something fair out of him other than Stretch, because if we cut him, somebody's going to pick him up, and he's going to go to a team that's going to really need him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be able to do the same things that he's been doing. I never, I respected his game, but, he's had, like, the NBA really has passed him by a little. I don't think that it really passed him by because he's a hustle guy, and he's going to always hustle.
Yeah.
So I can see where he got frustrated at, but with new management and, you got Fizdale in it, it's nothing new that you're going to be able to teach him. But if he brings that hustle that he's been doing, it's going to help us.
Okay.
Especially with Punk, with Kristaps out. So, play him. And as far as I think that, his game it's okay and it can help. So we keep them, we put them out there for show, and show people that, look, we can hold players too. You know, because somebody, they just like, you know, they like hungry wolves out there because they want it. Right. And especially if we show that he can get back to form. Put him out there. If he can't get back to form, and then we put that provision out there, cut him during the season, do the same thing. But I don't think there's no rush now to do that. He's on the team. He's going to get the money. The cap is going to go up. So the contract, really, his contract and Hardaway's contract is not going to hurt us when you look at what everybody else has been getting. So, you know, it's okay for us to keep them with all these young players that we got. And I don't really feel as though that we really have to dive into that we have to be thirsty next year to get a free agent. I don't really feel as though the thirst is there. I was going back in the day and I was looking at the old Knicks teams, like when Bernard was playing before Ewing came. That was like a good time in New York too, because they was competitive, they was fighting, and then I was saying, you know, they always fought.
Right. From
Darryl Walker all the way back. The Knicks always fought with a team like that. And then we add what's needed. But right now we don't know really what's needed. Right. Because if Frank turns out to be the point guard that we want him to be, we don't need Kyrie. We don't need Irving if he turns out to be the point guard that we think that he can be.
Okay.
You know, so we don't have to jump the whistle to next year. It might be the next year after that. Or if you got all the pieces involved, you can make a trade down the line to Boston, even if Boston does keep him. Okay. They're going to be ready to deal him. They'll be ready to deal. They'll make a deal for him.
Okay.
Hey, you know, man. Even if they go ahead and
Hey,
go ahead and
hey, Robert. I appreciate the call, man, and I'm definitely, I'm gonna talk about what you talked about with Joakim Noah, because you made some good points. But I'm definitely gonna get that to the NBA. I'm gonna tweet it to him. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna get it to him. I'm gonna tweet it to him. I'm definitely going to.
Okay. I got one more thing to say.
All right.
And I think a segment for the show should be like, because you say you go back to '86, and then what that guy was talking about who sold his Knicks attire and everything, I listened to it. I thought he was going to come on one way, but I can feel him as a Knicks fan and where he's at.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like he was really doing it for the money. Like, you could tell his heart was with us.
Yeah, I
believe
it.
He got frustrated with what was going on. So, with that being said, the segment should be like callers call in and they talk about their Knicks favorite moment. Okay. What made you become a Knicks fan?
That's a good one. That's a good one. We might do that. I appreciate that.
All right.
I like that. All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna continue to.
Nope. Sorry about that, Mr. Long, Robert Long. I'm sorry about that. I got this. My new laptop is real sensitive, so sorry about that. Cut my man off. Shout out to Dan. You say really like chalk talk. Would be awesome if the court diagram was colored for certain players' sweet spots. You know what? That's a good idea. And no chalk talk tonight, but we'll be back with the chalk talk on Tuesday night. And you know what? As we continue to grow chalk talk, there'll be some different things happening with it. So I appreciate that, man, Dan. And let me get one more call. You on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's up, Sam?
What's going on, man?
Man, 315 back. Oh, this is Noah. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, 12 o'clock Tuesday. Somebody need to make that call. Let him know if he's in the Amazon jungle, wherever he is. Let him know his services are no longer wanted. We got to get rid of this guy. I've been writing on the chat like 3 or 4 months ago, told you he was going to be a hazard to this team. He didn't even wait till the regular season started.
Okay, well, we'll see what's up. He's had a few things go on in the news. I don't know what the Knicks done about it, but we'll see what's happening, man. But yeah, I mean, I still think that they're gonna waive him. Maybe not.
Yeah, they gotta waive him.
But I still think that they're gonna waive him.
They got to get rid of. I know you like Courtney Lee, but I got a feeling if this dude don't play, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, you think he's going to be a problem if he doesn't play? Okay.
I think he's going to be a problem if he don't play.
Yeah, I'll say this.
You remember that. Excuse me, Sam. You remember that one game when he didn't play,
Yeah,
and then he started tweeting stuff.
I remember.
You know, clearly. And it was like, yeah, remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that. And
so
I think that if he's here, the Knicks are going to play him out of respect. Because, one, he's going to be one of the top players on the team if he's here. He's going to be one of our best players. Or top 6, top 7 player. I'll say that. Right? If he's here on the team. That's the whole conundrum. If he's here, he's going to be one of the top 6, 7 players. You play him. If he's not, if you put him on the bench, then, you know, that's not right to him. So that's why,
not right.
That's not right to him, right? So I think that's why you got to trade him. And I do like Courtney Lee, but I do think he's going to get traded too.
I hope so, Sam. Yeah. Because we got to get rid of some of these guys. And I know we need people here who has experience, but I just got a feeling I was right about Noah. I don't think Mr. Lee is going to be happy if he doesn't play as much as he thinks he should play.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good point. And I can guarantee you, if he's here and he's not playing, he will be unhappy. I'd be unhappy too. I'd be unhappy too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I would. Yeah. Hey, caller, I appreciate it because I'm coming down to the end of the show. Just short show tonight, man. I appreciate the call. 315 is in the house.
Tell your wife happy birthday.
I will. I'll do that. 315 is in the house.
And I will call again.
No doubt.
I will call her again. Yeah, I appreciate you, Sam.
Hey, you look at 315?
315.
You look at, yeah.
You ever heard of Newark, New York?
Who?
Newark, New York.
Nah, I live.
It's in I know you from upstate, but it's like in the middle between Rochester and Syracuse.
Is it?
We're right in the middle.
Okay, all right, no doubt, definitely. I mean, you know, I was in Utica for a minute. Yeah. All right, man.
So it was good talking to you, Sam.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, bye-bye.
The thing with Joakim Noah, great call, 315 in the house, but Joakim Noah and what he can bring to the Knicks. I do believe he can bring those things, maybe, in short stretches. I don't know if he has it. He's 32 years old, 33, whatever it is. I don't know if he has it to play 30 minutes. And I don't think, Robert, I think it was, I don't think you're looking for him to play 30 minutes. Can he do it? Yeah. I just don't know if it's going to be, I don't know. I think we need room for Mitchell Robinson, for what's his name that we signed, Von Lay, Luke Cornett. I think we need room for these guys to play, and Joakim Noah maybe takes away some of that time. You know what I mean? I do want to fight for a playoff spot, but I want to do it with the young boys. You know what I'm saying? Not old vets that should be looking for championship stuff. You know what I mean? But he can provide some, because we are missing a bruiser, and maybe he can provide some of that toughness. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put it past him to be able to provide that. It is a conundrum. I like that word. It's conundrum. You on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping, man? Hello? Anthony, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Sim? Good night. Peace to you and the Knicks fam out there.
Appreciate it.
Hope everybody's having a safe Labor Day weekend. Let's get to it. I've been away for a couple of days. I see you've had some situations going on here, but
a little something, man. I guess it comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory, but I just want to say something to the fans of the show. And so, you know, we're all Knicks family, so let's try and keep it, you know what I'm saying, let's keep it 100 peaceful. You know what I'm saying? We're grown men and grown women. Let's not be silly here. Let's not have Sim's show shut down for no foolishness. So that's all I wanted to say.
There it is. I appreciate it, man. And
let me slide. Yeah.
No, and it really had to do with, you know, really two people. You know, who's Mark? Apparently, you know, he made a mistake, and you know, Esco kind of let something slip that I just felt was inappropriate, and you know, stepped out of bounds. And that's the one thing we don't want to do. We're gonna get on each other, we're gonna laugh and joke with each other, we're gonna crack on each other, but just there's a boundary that you don't pass, and that's in any place, even when you just with your boys on the corner chilling. There's a boundary that you don't go past.
Absolutely. Absolutely, fam. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. But let me start up a little bit here. I heard you talking about Noah, and I was against the stretching him right up until the point that I remembered that my favorite Knick, his contract comes off the books after this season as well, Mr. Baker. So I'm all in because that money right there, that it kind of offsets a little bit. That's an additional $4.95 million or whatever that will come off the books. And Noah's contract is what it is. It's just the albatross that we just have to just suffer through and bear through it. And, hopefully we'll have enough money if we can somehow, I know you don't like this, if we can somehow move Courtney Lee. We'll have more than enough money to pursue one. I'm hoping they pursue one and it be the right one. I'm not all with this. We have to get 2 max guys and this, that, and the third. This is kind of like how we've gotten in trouble in the first place.
Right.
We've got some young talent. You get the right guy if you keep drafting. I want to say similar to Golden State. When they got Iguodala, they already had a core of young people that they had drafted. Iguodala came on. Years later, they went and got KD. That's something different. But if we can just stay that course, developing our young guys with one really max star that's not coming with a bum leg or a bum hip or just a bum period. we on the right course.
I'm with you, David. I'm with you. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Anthony, man, I'm down to the end of the show, so I'm about to call tonight.
Fam.
I thank you for the call, man. That's a great call to end it off, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt, fam. Stay up.
Peace, man. Have a great weekend. Have a great start to your week.
You too, sir.
All right, later. All right, folks. We're coming down to the end of the show. I do want to give a shout out to Ralph on Rail. Ralph on Rail, I seen, and I didn't get a chance to say anything, but I did see a couple streams back that you said you got your first client. Congratulations to you, my brother. Keep moving forward with it. Congrats, man. You got your first contract. That's the way to go. So we're down to the end of the show, man. And the only thing I want to say is opening night. You guys know about opening night. What I'm doing opening night at the Garden. And, we have one room already locked down. One lounge already locked down. And we're trying to get this other one locked down. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to get it locked down by this week. I have a waiting list. And I'm about to start sending out emails probably tomorrow to those who are on the waiting list to start paying for the additional tickets. All right, so that we can open up this next lounge. All right. So, if your name is on the list, you're going to get an email. And you get this email. I'm hoping that we need you to pay within 48 hours so that we can lock down this room, this lounge, before somebody else swings in and locks it down. Now, if something happens, if you make the payment and we can't get the lounge or we don't get enough people, then what would happen? Just like before, I would contact the group. We would talk and I'd say, okay, here's another package that they can offer us with these, with some seats, and they may have some additional perks to it or whatever it is because it's not the lounge, or you can get your money back. So it's foolproof for you. All right. Either way that it is, it's foolproof for you. So if you have not signed up right now, I'm going into the chat and go to my website, nothingbutnicks.com. All right. And I'm going to put the link in the website, I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Make sure you get your name on the list because I am going to call the first, 40 people that's on the list. And it may not even be the first 40 people on the list because there's some people who want to buy 2 tickets. All right, so I'm going to call the people on the list. I'm going to email them, and we're going to start getting these tickets paid for. If there are additional people, let's say that I get this 40 out the way, and there are additional people that would like maybe some other kind of package, I'll talk to you, and maybe we can work out another package with the Knicks so that you still get some of the perks that's there. So go ahead and put your name on the list, and then those who are on the list, and we'll work that out. I'll talk to you and we'll see if there's some other packages that's there that you can become part of. All right. I'm hoping, I'm looking forward to meeting, people who are there. I'm looking forward to meeting you on October 17th. We'll be talking about it and maybe doing some things leading up to it. You know what I mean? But go to my website, nothingbutnicks.com, and make sure you get your name on that list. All right? Make sure you get your name on that list. And with that being said, I'm calling this show a night. It was midnight, 12:13. I want to get to, hanging out with the rest of my family before I head back to D.C. So I'm going to call it a night. And I will speak to you guys Tuesday night at 10:30. Tuesday night, 10:30. Do not forget, put your name on the list if you want to be part of it. Please, put your name on the list. All right? It's been real, as always. And I will see you guys Tuesday night. I'll be back in the studio. Get ready for some chalk talk. Get ready for, I'm sure there'll be some news. We'll find some things to talk about. You know what I mean? And looking forward to it. Tuesday night. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.